Video, we're going to talk about the method and the formula to actually close your leads. And it involves using your automations, following up, and we'll give you the blueprint on how to do this and the technology to do it. So this five-step formula, first I will say that it works. We've tried it over and over again. And if you don't commit to it, you will not succeed. Our successful clients are very diligent about following it. So you're going to get leads sent directly to your phone via text message, and all of these leads will have verified that yes, they are a real person and yes, they want your help. So you'd think that, yeah, it'll be easy from there. But what you have to realize is that online leads don't know, like, or trust you yet. So it's different from handling a referral lead, which many of you are used to. Now, referral leads are great, but then you run out of them. So the power of learning how to manufacture an online lead into a deal is such a powerful skill that you can scale your business with it. So in order to make it work, as soon as you get the lead sent to your phone via text message, you're going to want to call them as soon as possible, within 5 minutes of getting it, if you can. Because there's a lot of data that shows if you call them within 5 minutes versus if you call them even 30 minutes, your closing rate is going to be several fold better if you call them in 5 minutes. So it's extremely important. And remember, this is your first contact with them. So even though we send a text message with your information to them, you need to double dial and text them. So what I mean by that is double dial means calling them twice in sequence. And the reason this works is because it's not a normal behavior and it bypasses the do not disturb feature on a lot of smartphones. You also want to text them to show them why you're calling so that they can understand, no, you're not a spam caller or anything like that. You're the person that they opted in to talk to twice, right? They filled out your form and they responded back saying, yeah, they want your help. So if they still don't respond back to you, and don't be weirded out, they're just humans, right? If they still don't get back to you, call and text them daily in the first week until they get back to you, until you get that first meeting. So if you still don't get a response, then use the automations rather than giving up. Remember, you always want to get a yes or a no from them. And remember, they are inbound leads, meaning they ask to speak to you. So automations are a fair game. And what most people do is they'll call once or twice, they'll say, oh, it's not a good lead, and they'll give up. But what they don't realize is 70 to 80% of deals are done after the fifth follow up. So if you're calling them once or twice, then you're missing out on most of your deals. So you always want to get a yes or no. If you give up, it's the exact same as getting 100% no's. So you're going to get some yeses, you're going to get some no's, but if you do nothing and you give up, it's the same as getting all no's. The last thing you want to do is focus on the viable leads. So the people that are leads that could get a mortgage from you and could use your service and qualify, be calling them all the time. Follow up with them all the time. And the way to do that is clean up your pipeline. So for those that are not responsive, move them to the automations and focus on the ones that are responsive. And then track your leads and results. We're going to give you a tracking sheet so that you can do this. So the key thing to know is it's not that online leads are bad. It's that humans are humans and they're all in different parts of the buying cycle. At any time, only 3% of the market is ready to transact right now. So it's unrealistic to expect 100% of your leads to be ready right now. That's just not how the world works. So focus your energy on the bigger piece of the pie. Remember, people are in the process of buying all the time. And the only difference between people that are nearly ready and researching and people that are ready is your sales process. And I know that's hard to hear, but it's true. So if you look at the big pie, if you keep fighting others for the people that are ready, you're missing out on most of the market. And remember, about 70% of people will go with the first person that they meet, right? So you always want to be the first person they meet. And it's unlikely you're going to be the first person if you're fighting for the 3% that are ready. So the money really is in people that are thinking about buying a home, thinking about refinancing, researching about it. Those are the people that you're going to want to get to first. Now, the challenge is maybe it takes a little bit longer to convert them. And you need a nurture sequence so that you can keep them warm while they're ready, right? So if you do these things, you're going to get most of the market versus the small bit that everyone's fighting for. So the main difference between an online lead is that they don't know you yet. And it's important to note that they're not lower quality, they're just in different stages of the buying process. And yes, referrals are amazing, but you do have to run out. And there's a difference with online leads. You have to add massive value upfront and prove yourself to them very quickly versus referrals that already have a good impression because they've heard about you and they know someone that you know. So we're not going to convert all of them. That's not possible, right? Go for the hidden gems. Go for the 1 out of 15 that are good people that you can convince to work with you through adding value upfront. And the value of these online leads is that you can create a consistent and predictable income stream. And once you get the hang of it, once you have a proven system, you can scale it and grow your practice at your own pace. And that is so powerful. So here's the difference. Here's just kind of a cartoony view. If you have a referral, they heard great things and they're going to work with you, right? Most likely. But with an online lead, they just saw your ad, they're interested in what you have to offer, but they're very skeptical. They had maybe an online meeting with you, but they still might be skeptical. And finally, they met you in person or video several times. You've had contact with them and they're starting to warm up. And then, only then, can you start to get them committed to working with you. So it takes a lot of work for us to get them to meet you and then for you to meet them and then get them to warm up to you. And the life cycle of the sales process is longer. It does take more work, but again, the value is there. So let's look at a timeline, right? Let's launch your ads. We'll fill up your pipeline. You have to build trust with them by adding value upfront, and then you start to harvest the fruits, right? You start getting those clients that are ready to get a mortgage, ones that have built trust with you, and over time, you're going to close more deals, but also get more referrals coming in from those deals because the lifetime value of a client is about 4 to 7 times of the first deal, depending on how good you are at getting referrals and repeat business. So if you can make money on the first deal, then you get scale by getting referrals, and then you have proof of concept, and then you're ready to go. So let's talk about automations, right? We talked about the importance of the 5 step process, but how do you actually use the automations to do the job? So we've divided it into a few key automations for you. First, we have automations to get that first meeting. Remember, they're texted to you, right? These are real people that want your help, but people are flaky. They're just humans. So if they're text verified and they didn't even meet with you yet, maybe you couldn't call them quickly, maybe you couldn't get a hold of them, then use the first meeting automation to get that first meeting. It's just going to send them automated messages, text messages over days. And then if they still don't respond, they're going to be put into a long-term nurture sequence. Now, let's say you met them, but they stop responding to you after you ask for documents. So place them here after you've called them several times already. Remember, you met them already, so they're not strangers, and they're likely going to pick up your call if you call them enough times. But if they still don't, then use the automations. And the last one is if they're not ready, don't give up on leads that are not ready. Set reminders in your calendars, put them into a long-term nurture sequence. And if you put them in here, they're just going to be given monthly tips via email. You can edit these, but you don't have to. The purpose of these is, remember, not everyone's going to be ready, but you'd be burning money by not keeping these people warm for the future when they are ready. So let's show you some of these. So this is the CRM that you're going to get. I'm using a demo account. Obviously, yours will have your own specific leads in there. And how it flows is, let's say Unready Eunice. She's going to get into your CRM through your ads. They're going to fill out a form, and they're going to be sent text verification SMS. So as soon as they respond, yes, they want your help, they're going to be moved here. So you're going to want to monitor this one, follow up with these leads. This is where you're going to have the 20% of people that you want to be talking to on the regular to get most of your results. And I've created three personas here, right? These are not real people, but let's say you have someone similar. So Unready Eunice, Ghosting Gary, and No Response Nelly. So Unready Eunice, you talk to her, she seems okay, but she doesn't have any money now and needs to repair her credit or get a new job or whatever it is that would allow her to qualify for the mortgage that she actually wants. So this is a human that you've talked to, you've built some trust with, and you've already spent the time and money to get them to the starting point. The worst thing you want to do is say, Unready Eunice is a bad lead, not for me, and I'm going to forget about her. So what you can do instead is put in reminders in your calendar based on the conversation. If she's saying like, yeah, I need to do this in 3 months, then follow up with her in 3 months. But what you should do is just put her into the long-term nurture. And I'll show you what these do later, but let's talk about Ghosting Gary and No Response Nelly. So, Ghosting Gary, this person you've talked to, you've had your first meeting, great. So you put him in here, initial strategy call done. So Ghosting Gary wants to refinance. You sent them your pre-approval form, or you sent them a list of documents you need, and they ghosted you. You called them a few times, you texted them, nothing. This happens. Remember, they're humans. It probably means you didn't add enough value up front. And if you felt like you did, just remember, these are just people. You haven't built up enough like and trust in you yet for them to pick up your phone call. So you should be contacting them manually daily for a week. And if you get sick of it, instead of giving up, move Ghosting Gary here. He's going to get follow-ups for that document collection until they respond. And when Ghosting Gary responds, he's going to be moved back, and you're going to want to continue the conversation. You're going to get a text message letting you know Ghosting Gary respond with whatever he responded with. So again, you just want to keep talking to these people and trying to close these deals. For the ones that you're kind of sick of and you're about to give up, use the automations. Let's talk about No Response Nelly. So No Response Nelly, they're text verified. They filled out a form. They said they want your help, but for some reason, they haven't even spent the time to get that first meeting with you yet, right? Remember, they don't know you yet. So why would they spend 30 minutes of their time to meet with you? You haven't built any trust yet. So all you can do is show them that you're on the ball. You can message them, you can text them. Make sure you double dial and text them right away when they're first to lead, but if you fail to do so, it's not too late. So after you've kind of given up, move No Response Nelly here, and No Response Nelly is going to get automated follow-ups until they respond back to you. And remember, you want to get that yes or no. So I'll show you what happens. Over here, you have under automations, editable automated sequences. So you can edit these, but again, you don't have to. So let's say No Response Nelly, right? Place here automated follow-ups to get first meeting. So what happens with No Response Nelly is he's going to get a message. It's going to say, hey, Nelly, this is, let's say, Jeff, me. Just want to thank you for your interest in a mortgage consultation. I haven't heard from you in a while, so just wanted to confirm your interest. Do you still need help? Then it'll wait a minute. It'll send another text, or just give me a call. It'll have your phone number here. It'll send an email. It'll wait another day, send another text, and it keeps going, and it keeps sending reminders over and over again. So the last thing you want to do is not do this, because remember, they verified twice that they want your help. So this is fair game, and everything's legal. They're opted in, and this is way better than doing nothing. You're gonna get some yeses from doing this. Now, if you want to take a look at all of the automations, you can here. These are going to save a lot of your deals. And we've tried this with so many clients. Don't sleep on this. Make sure you use these, and make sure you use your tracking sheet. I'm going to talk about that next.